Hello and welcome to my review of NXT's Great American Bash 2020 Night 1. Let's just jump right into it. Leave a comment with what you thought of the show down below. Leave me a like, it'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe for more, you know the drill. Let's go. First of all, the first thing I noted was the cars. The cars by the entranceway. Now, they came into effect eventually, so fair play to WWE, but I just thought this was very WWE, like, what's American? It's like when they always used to come over to the UK and do, they do like, was it called Rebellion? And there was another one, Insurrection. They do like UK only, well not UK only, because I think they got broadcast in America, but UK pay-per-views. And they always had like a double-decker bus and Big Ben and a black cab and, all this sort of cliche stuff. They were like, what's American? I know, muscle cars, like, like they love their stereotypes, don't they? It was very WWE, that set. Anyway, they kick things off with the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match for the number one contendership for the NXT Women's Championship, which was a hell of a mouthful, I just realised as I got through that sentence. And I'm just going to get straight into the breakdown. The first elimination was Candice LeRae, and I think I might have even called this on my predictions where she'd get eliminated through some sort of shenanigans where she gets teamed up on so she got someone to complain about. I don't know if I said that exactly, but I was thinking along those lines, so I hope I said it out loud. Because, yeah, that's what happened. Mia Yim eliminated Candice LeRae with a single knee code breaker. I assume she's got a name for that. Protect your back or something, or protect your neck. Or is that a different move? I don't know. Anyway, it was basically like a code breaker. But very obvious. Like, I know the code breaker can be single knee, or can be double knee, but it's very obviously single knee, this one. So what happened to lead up to that, though, was Tegan Nox and Mia Yim. I should say who's in the match. Tegan Nox versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai was the match. Anyway, Nox and Yim, the two faces, did a double front suplex on Dakota Kai onto Candice LeRae, who I think was like on all fours, recovering from some previous attack. So Candice LeRae sort of stumbled up to her feet, ate that code breaker type move, and got pinned. So obviously that leaves Candice with something to complain about. So fair play. Because I was umming and ahhing about Candice winning this match, and I went against it in the end on that basis, I believe, in my predictions. So, the next elimination, obviously there was a lot of match going on, but I'm not going to do blow by blow of every match because, I mean, watch the show. Like, rest assured, it was a good show. Watch it. It's okay. It's safe to watch it. So, the next elimination was Dakota Kai. She eliminated Mia Yim with an Okana roll, which is the one where they kind of grab like a rear waist lock, like a German suplex, but just backwards roll through. But then she did the extra step of bridging through as well, so that was nice eventually when she got there. So the situation there was Yim had hit Soul Food, which I always knew as Eat Defeat, but I guess it's now called Soul Food because AEW call it that as well. So I guess the movie just called Soul Food. So it's where basically you stick your foot in the face and then you fall back onto your back and hold their arms, so you drag them down, and when you stop, because you hit the floor, their face hits your foot. It's quite a cool move, I quite like it. Anyway, so she did that to Tegan Nox, but Tegan Nox kind of, with the momentum from bouncing off the foot, rolled out of the ring, and Mia Yim was like looking out for an inordinate amount of time because Dakota Kai was too slow getting there. But yeah, she just like stared at Tegan Nox like, oh my god, I can't pin her out there, but like for an awkward amount of time, and then eventually Kai got there and did a roll up and eliminated her. Then the finish came. Nox actually won. I picked Kai, so I'm 0 for 1 on this show. She hit the Shining Wizard. I was close. My pick got down to the final two, so I thought we were going to see face versus heel. Io Shirai's basically a face now. So I thought we were going to see face versus heel. Maybe Io Shirai really is walking that line, so she'll be more heelish against Tegan Nox. Who knows? We'll wait and see. I'm looking forward to that match, though. It should be fun. But yeah, she picked up the clean one with the Shininess Wizard. Raquel Gonzalez, or Rachel Gonzalez, or whatever her name is, was banned from ringside. Everyone was banned from ringside. It was no DQ, but they were banned from ringside. There was no word on what the consequence would be because they couldn't be disqualified. But whatever. So yeah, that's how Nox ended up getting a clean one-on-one fight with Kai at the end, and she ended up picking up the win. I put it was a good match overall, but there's a few clunky moments. And then I put trying too hard to do multi-person spots. This is a criticism I have a lot of multi-man matches or multi-woman matches in this case, like triple threats, fatal four-ways, six-pack challenges. The wrestlers get too creative, which sounds like a silly complaint. But what I mean is they're like, oh yeah, and what if then you did this and immediately I bounced in and did this, and then someone misses half a step and it knocks everyone's timing off and everything starts to look janky. And it's like everyone's like determined to do these super multi-person spots, the multi-person roll-ups one after another, or the Tower of Doom's the classic that takes like 15 minutes to set up and it looks ridiculous. I don't know. There's a lot that to be said for triple threats or fatal four-ways just being done as like a series of one-on-one matches that transition into each other. There's a lot to be said for that because there's a lot less room for it to be as janky. People are used to doing one-on-one matches more so than doing these multi-person matches. So that was my only real complaint, was just every so often you found... Like, the Mia Yim elimination is a good example. She was stood, because it directly involved Tegan Nox falling out the ring, because Dakota Kai was a little bit slow, or maybe they were a little early hitting that move. I don't know, but basically Dakota Kai didn't react at the right point. Even if they were early, she should have been looking out for a certain trigger, and the moment Mia Yim's back hit the mat, or maybe the moment that Tegan Nox left under the bottom rope, Dakota Kai should have been in the ring sneaking up on Mia Yim, but it just didn't work like that. There was a delay, and that's the sort of thing I mean that happens when they keep doing these multi-person spots. But minor complaint, overall the match was good. Next we had a Damian Priest promo where he was aiming at Cameron Grimes, and I mentioned in my AEW review and in both predictions videos actually that I'm a little bit out of touch with wrestling at the moment. I haven't watched a lot of anything this last few weeks, maybe a month, and has one of them turned face? Are we just having a heel versus heel feud? What even is the issue? I don't know. But yeah, Damian Priest was not happy with Cameron Grimes. That's all I know. Damian Priest don't like no Cameron Grimes. So beyond that, I don't know what's going on there. But standard Damian Priest promo. I don't think he's like an excellent promo or anything. He's a passable promo at best. Up next, we had Timothy Thatcher versus Oney Lorcan. I really enjoyed this match. I actually wrote I thoroughly enjoyed this match. That's the word I used. Or the phrase. I love this sort of thing. The Daniel Bryan Drew Gulak type match. The Drew Gulak Matt Riddle Evolve type match. Those sort of like technical wrestling who can outdo the other one. I really enjoy those. I really enjoy them. And this was a really good one. In fact, like I've been a bit hit and miss on Timothy Thatcher since he came to NXT. I've been a bit like, sometimes I've thought he's missed the spot a bit. He's not quite in the WWE way of doing things just yet, so he's been mistiming things or whatever. I don't know. I've had a few minor criticisms of Timothy Thatcher's performances in some of his earlier matches. This one, I really enjoyed. Like, really, really enjoyed this match. Thatcher obviously picked up the win. Oney Lorcan's not winning any singles matches in the near future, that unless it's against a complete jobber. So it was fairly obvious that Thatcher was going to win this. He won it with his Fujiwara armbar. He yanked the arm back a bit more after Lorcan tapped for his 4 count before he got disqualified, and I assume the decision reversed. Which, I was watching, I was like, don't you dare reverse the decision. Like, I picked the right winner. Don't you dare cost me this prediction just because you're an idiot who can't let go of an armbar. But he did, he let go. And I'm 1 for 2. 1 out of 2 I got right so far at this point. So, next we had a Karrion Kross and Scarlett promo video, and aside from just Scarlett, I love these two. I think they're brilliant. I think the ceiling is so high on these two as a pair. Or Karrion Kross just in general, the ceiling is so high, but Scarlett adds to the presentation, so not complaining about her being involved. I thought for a bit of this they were going after Johnny Gargano. I was like, wow, they're going heavy on the heel stuff. Because they were talking about people who used to be held down by the system now riding the wave of the system and then complaining about it anyway, or something along those lines. And I was like, they're talking about Johnny Gargano? But no, it turns out he was looking at the Adam Cole... I was going to say Bruce Lee then. Wow. Adam Cole, Keith Lee match that's happening next week. And there was even footage of those two. And they started directly alluding to them towards the end of the promo. Yeah, because I was confused for a second. Like, confused.com. Like, properly. Yeah. See, okay, little spoiler. I'm going to do an official predictions video. I feel like Karrion Kross... I felt before this promo like Karrion Kross was getting involved in that match. I feel like Karrion Kross is the guy to take the North American Championship off Keith Lee. He's a heel. I don't think we should be looking at taking the title off Adam Cole onto another heel. I feel like it should be a face, but then who's it going to be? It could be Keith Lee, and then Karrion Kross takes the North American off him, or something. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. But I feel like it might be Karrion Kross, so now that they've sort of confirmed he's got his eye on that match, yeah, I feel like something's coming. I feel like that's the next transition in storyline to Kross versus Lee. So, looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. Up next, we have the handicap match, where if Rhea Ripley loses, she has to join the Robert Stone brand. Robert Stone came out in like a boxer's attire. Like the shorts, the mouth guard, the robe with the hood up. He was just short a pair of boxing gloves. Like, that's legit all he was really missing. And it tickled me. He was Robbie E, I think was his name in TNA. And he was fun as like a fall guy for comedy spots. He wasn't a bad wrestler by any stretch, but he was a good comedy wrestler as well in TNA. And I'm glad he got to show some of his actual in-ring stuff in this match instead of just being a stupidly dressed manager. So anyway, the match was Rhea Ripley versus Robert Stone and Aaliyah, and it seemed like there was no tag rules in effect. It was a tornado handicap match because there was never even a hint of the referee telling one of them to get out of the ring. So, and there was a double submission spot. So I figured there was 2 double submission spots, 1 each way actually. I feel like it must have just been agreed it was a tornado handicap match. Like, it just wasn't mentioned, I don't think, either way. So, yeah, the match itself was pretty good, interspersed with some pretty fun comedy spots, I would say. Like, there was the point where Robert Stone tried to vault over the top rope onto Rhea Ripley and she just walked away. Like, it's a classic Samoa Joe spot. You just walk away from someone doing a high risk move and they just splat on the front and he's just walking away cocky. Well, she did that and it was to the outside, so he took a spill. Like, obviously he controlled his landing, but he took enough of a spill for it to look good. I'm trying to think what other good comedy spots there were. There was just the general him wanting to fight Rhea Ripley, then wanting to run away and and all that sort of stuff. But the match ended with a double prison trap, I believe is what they called Rhea's submission. That I don't think I've heard that name before. I've probably just not been paying attention. But she locked both of them in it, and then they both tapped. But I wasn't sure if Aaliyah was tapping or hitting Robert Stone for tapping and costing her the match. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some confirmation on that. Because she was tapping on Robert Stone's back, like, pretty hard. So I was like, is she just going, no, don't tap, kind of, you're losing me the match here by you tapping. But yeah, so I was actually surprised at the amount of physicality they let Stone do. Because I said in the predictions, it's going to be interesting to see how they play this match off. Because they're not keen on man-on-woman violence in WWE for some strange reason. Yeah, but I was surprised. There was a bit of physicality. I think because he's smaller than Rhea Ripley, he's seen as being okay to attack her. He locked in a Boston Crab at one point, while Aaliyah had, I think, a crossface on, which is definitely physicality. They did a double suplex, which is Robert Stone slamming Rhea Ripley into the floor. So they did more man-on-woman physicality than I expected from the match, basically. I was expecting him to just get whooped every so often by Rhea Ripley and the rest of it be a one-on-one match. Like, that was genuinely my expectation. So I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised by that as well, because I don't know if you guys know this, but wrestling's fake. As every non-wrestling fan ever will tell you, great delight when you mention you like wrestling. Wrestling's fake. So movies are fake, and they have fight scenes with men fighting women and beating the hell out of women in some of them, because they're bad guys. It's usually the bad guys beating up the good female protagonist or a female friend or romantic interest of the male protagonist. But either way, It's okay in that, but it's not okay in wrestling. But we know wrestling is not real. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if we don't want to be ridiculed for believing it's fake, we should probably hold it to the same standards as TV shows and movies, right? Like, that just makes sense to me. If we don't want people mocking us and saying, you know it's fake, right? You're not one of those idiots who thinks it's real, right? We should acknowledge that it's fake and allow it to the same boundaries as other fake entertainment, such as TV shows with fight scenes, action movies with fight scenes. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I understand that people are like, oh yeah, but does it promote domestic violence? Domestic violence is bad. Well, I'm sorry, but then you just use the argument that, well, all wrestling promotes violence in general, and violence is bad. So why would we allow that? Why would we allow man-on-man wrestling? Why would we allow woman-on-woman wrestling? Like, are we encouraging people to just go out and start super kicking people in the face? Like, if that's your argument, you know, like, it doesn't make any sense to me how outraged people are about it. Like, if UFC did it, fair enough, that's not good. Like, that's probably not a fair fight. I mean, if you could get a fair fight out of it, if you had, like, a super small guy and a super good woman who was more than capable of holding her own with him, I'd probably be okay with that. It's competition. It's competitive sport. Like, I know that's a much greyer area, so let's not venture too far into that. But wrestling's fake, guys. Like, let's start treating it like it is, so we don't look like idiots to non-fans, like, any more than we already do. I don't know. I don't really care what non-fans think of me like in wrestling. But that's always, like, one of the first things they say, isn't it? You know, it's fake, right? And you're just there, like, and then people are angry about it because men are hitting women in it. It's like, it's fake. These women are agreeing to being hit. It's not some sort of abuse. It's not bullying. It's a pre-agreed spot, same as it is between two men. Anyway, enough rant. I was impressed. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I haven't seen any backlash online, but I've been mainly avoiding online because I didn't want to get spoilers. So I didn't see anything. I've not seen any backlash for him locking a Boston Crab or doing a suplex to her. I'm sure there's at least a small vocal minority that are kicking up a fuss over that. But whatever. I was pleased with how it went. Next we had the Roderick Strong versus Dexter Lumis video package. That was cool. It was done kind of like Roderick Strong's therapy session. It was pretty cool. He had his beard grown out a bit to show how traumatized he is by Lumis. And he was just talking about, you know, his eyes and his stares and all this. And I enjoyed that. Then Roderick Strong came out and I had this thought hit me like a bolt of lightning, which was, I strongly prefer AEW's fake crowd to NXT's fake crowd. And the reason that hit me during Roderick Strong's entrance is they booed the hell out of Roderick Strong because WWE have clearly told their fake crowd to respond the way they are supposed to. And it's not real. When have you ever known Undisputed Era get booed during their entrance? They'll get themselves heat during matches or during shenanigans, but when they come out, everyone loves them. When their music hits, everyone pops. Like, they're heels, but everyone loves them, like, until they do something and then they turn us against them again, and great heel work, fair play. They don't get booed on their entrances. I'm sorry, they just don't. Like, that's not a thing. And he got booed pretty loudly. Whereas AEW's fake crowd, the heels cheer the heels and the faces in the crowd cheer the faces. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's a really good dynamic. And it's closer to a real wrestling audience because there are heel fans that adamantly just cheer the heels regardless just because they want to be contrary. Then there's the selection of fans who cheer and boo whoever the hell they feel like. And then there's the fans who play the game and cheer the good guys and boo the bad guys. And that mixture sounds a lot more like what happens at AEW than what was happening at NXT, which was boo the bad guys exclusively. And it just hit me that I prefer the way AEW do it, which is not shocking really. They've probably not told anyone who to cheer and boo. They're just still playing their characters at ringside. Whereas in NXT, they've probably been like, you know, this is your list of heels, this is your list of faces. Make sure you boo these ones and cheer these ones. Like, I can just picture that, you know, like I can just picture the Vince pep talk. If you don't boo the right person, you're fired, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, although then they had a moment, as soon as I'd written that, Roderick Strong, Dexter Lumis comes out, and then Roderick Strong doesn't want to put on the the strap, because it was a strap match. And the fans started chanting "Strap on Roddy" at him. And that just really tickled me. So I was like, okay, maybe you're not so bad. It's still irritating me though, how much he got booed during his entrance. It was obviously very contrived, maybe even piped in. Like, maybe that wasn't even the live audience's fault. But whatever WWE are doing with their crowd, I don't like as much as what AEW are doing with their crowd. That's the point. So, Loomis won. I'm pretty sure I predicted that. Did I say I predicted Ripley's match correctly for Ripley to win? So I was 2 out of 3. Well, Loomis won. Another submission finish. 3 in a row, in fact. I've only just noticed as I'm going over this. 3 submission finishes in a row. That's interesting. I predicted this. 3 out of 4. The early overselling by Roderick Strong was just enough. It wasn't Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan overselling. It was kind of close though. Like, Loomis was yanking on the strap, and Roderick Strong was going flying into the ring apron and stuff. And it was fun to watch. Roderick Strong was making Dexter Loomis look $1 million. And I'm just going to jump to this point. Roderick Strong's really growing on me. And before you say, what? How are you not a fan? I was just never a fan. And I know loads of people talk about how good he is and he's the best actual wrestler in Undisputed Era and probably one of the best in NXT. But he just never grabbed me. And that's what wrestling's all about. He just never grabbed my attention properly. And that always bugged me. But he's growing on me. He made Dexter Loomis look like such a star in this match, and I'm starting to see all the real appeal of Roderick Strong. I think I'm liking him more now that he seems to be in put people over mode than when he was winning and he was North American champion and stuff. I think I appreciate him more as like a guy to push people up the card. Not a jobber, because he's never going to be a jobber. He's in a stable with the world champion in NXT. Like, you know, it's obviously not a jobber, but I like him putting people over, winning some matches to keep his credibility, but when push comes to shove, he's the guy to elevate the next big guy. So, yeah, I like that. They teased a fun callback. This is where the cars came into effect from when I started at the start of from what I said at the start of the video, talking about the cars. They teased Dexter Loomis putting Roderick Strong in the boot of, I think it was, did they say it was a Dodge Viper? I'm not great at muscle cars, I think it was a Dodge Viper. And Roderick was obviously terrified of this because the whole thing started in your house when Dexter Loomis put Strong and Fish in the boot of a car and drove off with them during the Adam Cole Velveteen Dream match, which I just want to mention. They didn't mention Velveteen Dream when they were talking about their history at all. It was like Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship in a parking lot brawl or whatever they called it, and they never mentioned him. They Chris Benoit the guy, and I'm like, so I've not been keeping up with these accusations that have been flying around the internet, mainly with the British wrestling scene, but also a few bigger names from America as well. And I was like, oh, has something happened with Velveteen Dream then? And I've not looked into that, so let me know in the comments if you know more about that. I'd love to know what the latest is, and try and keep it as factual as possible, like we know this, or he's been accused of that. Not, he did this, and I'll be like, have you got any evidence of that? And he's like, well, no, but someone said he did, so he did. Like, what's he been accused of? How much evidence is there? You know, all that sort of stuff. And that's not me sort of trying to put down potential victims. That's just me liking to deal in facts. You know, I'm not on a jury. I'm not in a court of law. I don't have to decide if something happened. So I don't need an opinion being given to me of that, if you know what I mean. I can just be given the facts of what the situation is. And then I'm thinking more in terms of, yeah, it's a reasonable response from WWE not to stop mentioning him, or you know, that sort of thing. You know, if he's done something majorly wrong, then he should be punished for it. But it's not up to me to decide if he's done something majorly wrong, if you know what I mean. It's too much trial by social media these days. So I'm not a big fan of that. So anyway, yeah, I noticed that they didn't mention him at all, so I'm just curious what the latest is with that. I really enjoy Dexter Loomis. I enjoyed him as, was he called Samuel Shaw in TNA? And he basically played the same gimmick. And he's not some 5-star wrestler. You know, like, I'm not under any impression that he is. But he plays that character well. You know, like, and he should do. He's had a lot of practice. But he plays that character very well. Keeps me engrossed. Like I was saying, right, go over and check out my AEW review if you watch both. On AEW, I was saying that Private Party don't capture me. Like, they don't capture my interest. They do some interesting things, they do some fun spots. They don't engross me in a match. I was invested in this match, partially because of Roderick Strong and his excellent selling, partially because of Dexter Lumis and his great character work. I sort of, in my head, likened it to, like, early Undertaker. Because early Undertaker, no one was claiming he was such a good in-ring worker. But his character was captivating. And later on in his career, he allowed himself a bit more freedom through character changes and stuff, and ended up doing some better matches. But early on, Undertaker matches weren't great. They were interesting, though. They had your attention. So it's sort of... I don't want to compare it to Undertaker because people will be like, he's nowhere near the Undertaker. I know that. What I'm saying is, similar vibe in that I'm not expecting a 5-star match out of him, but I am expecting to enjoy and focus on his match and be invested. So yeah, good stuff. So the finish, Bobby Fish came down, he interfered, he kicked Loomis' leg out from under him at one point when he was on the apron. Then he tried to get in the ring and run at Loomis, and they basically pulled the strap taut, and Bobby Fish nearly damn near decapitated himself on that strap. Like, you did not need to commit that much to that spot. That was incredible. But yeah, then Loomis locked in his choke submission thing and won. Basically. There we go. As predicted. 3 out of 4. Next, we had an Adam Cole versus Keith Lee video package. It was good, this package. They started off quite respectful and talking about each other's accomplishments and how each other have done great and had a meteoric rise through NXT and sit atop the mountain and stuff. And then they started talking about who's going to win. And it was, and how I'm the one who's going to win and why, and I'm the one who's going to win and why, and I had the better year and why. And I think it built nicely, that video package. And I'm really looking forward to that match. Like, I think sometimes Adam Cole in NXT gets a little overrated by some people. But there's no denying his matches are enjoyable and fun to watch. Keith Lee, exactly the same. Great matches to watch. Really fun. Can't wait to see what they do. They have a great dynamic with each other from when I've seen them interact in the past. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to that match next week. Big boo-boo on AEW's part if they had any way of preventing it, of delaying their title match. Because now, surely this match means NXT wins the ratings next week. Like, surely, because there's nothing as major going up against it at all. Next, we had a Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae promo, and they did, as I predicted, talk. I didn't predict it coming this soon, but they talked about how she got ganged up on, basically 3-on-1 eliminated, and yada yada yada. Correct direction for those guys at the moment. She doesn't need to be losing a women's title match at the moment, so correct direction to have her feel unjustly kept out of the title picture. I like that. Then she attacked Mia Yim. She spotted Mia Yim and ran off mid Johnny Gargano. I thought it was really nice how he was talking and just slowly sort of trailed off as he looked into this, like, what's she doing? And then he was like, yeah, she's the best, and then followed in. And then for some reason, Isaiah Swerve Scott got involved. Now, I know Keith Lee's busy with Adam Cole, but that's his girlfriend. Like, we've already acknowledged that on TV, or we've at least paired those two up on TV. Like, I get you might want to get to a Gargano Swerve match because that could be fun. Like, not denying that at all. Just seemed out of place. I mean, I guess you can just say, oh, he was just nearby and sort of tried to get involved. So yeah, LeRae attacked Mia Yim, and I think they got announced for a singles match next week, which will be fun. I like both those girls. They're both good. And we might see Gargano Swerve as well, or if not next week, then soon. And I like both those guys. So, yeah, a couple of fun matches made. One confirmed made, I think, and one potentially made. Looking forward to that. Next, El Hijo, I think it is, Del Fantasma, came out. He ain't got a mask, and he's got a different name, and I forgot what that name was. Should have wrote that down. With his two masked men from the cars, I'm guessing, who are also unmasked, and one of them's the former DJZ. I can't remember his NXT name, and I knew the other one as well, but I just forgot. I was sort of so surprised to see him unmasked, and I was like, damn, I didn't even watch the final of that tournament, so spoilers for me. Yeah, I need to watch back, even though I know what's coming. Like, I'm intrigued by that storyline. I'm intrigued by something that's happening in the Cruiserweight division. Like, fair play, WWE, well done. That's good booking when I'm interested in the Cruiserweight division. So, he cut a promo about Lucha Libre and how no one respects Lucha Libre, so that's why him and his friends unmasked and disrespected Lucha Libre. Which, tenuous logic aside, it was a decent enough promo. Then Drake Maverick came out and attacked. I believe this is his first return since they hurt him somehow, probably in the final or just after the final, I don't know. And then Breezango, he obviously wasn't going to win that fight 3-on-1, and then just as they were about to like kick him in the head or something, Breezango came and made the save, and excuse me, and they made a 6-man tag for next week. So another fun match added. Should be good. Now, next we had Cameron Grimes cutting a promo, declaring himself number one contender for the winner of Adam Cole or Keith Lee. So we've sort of had Karrion Kross targeting them. We've had Damian Priest targeting Cameron Grimes. Now we've got Cameron Grimes being like, no thanks, Priest. I think I'll go after the NXT Championship. We'll just wait and see what they're doing with that picture. I can't figure it out. Are they going to do like a triple threat number one contender match? Are they going to have Grimes get involved and then Priest stop him and then Karrion Kross gets involved? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next week, or maybe in the following weeks. They might not really address it next week, because that's going to be the main event, and the finishing image might just be someone celebrating with both belts. I don't know. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. They announced Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim officially for next week. That's what I said. That match is definitely happening. That should be a fun match. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of fun women's matches, we had Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks. There's a couple of botches. I feel like, right, here's what I feel like happens, because I feel like this happened during the Charlotte Flair-Sasha Banks feud back in, 2016? I feel like Sasha Banks really wants, like, from what happened with her and Bayley, she wants to keep pushing and pushing and proving that she's one of the best. Because she doesn't get the same opportunities. She gets opportunities, don't get me wrong. She doesn't get the same opportunities as someone like Charlotte Flair. And I feel like she sort of gets overly ambitious and tries to do some slightly too ambitious stuff in a match, and it makes the matches come off worse. I don't think she's a bad wrestler. I think Sasha Banks is a really good wrestler. Just watch her matches with Bayley from NXT to see evidence of that. But I feel like she keeps trying to top those, and maybe it's best to just try and get close to those and remind people that you're consistently really, really good, rather than push it just that extra little bit, botch something, and then people start to think badly of you. I don't know. Yeah, so there's a couple of botches in the match, a couple of spots that didn't work great, but overall, really fun match. I did not see the Asuka interference coming, but that's mostly because I've not been up to date, so I didn't even know that they were doing Asuka versus Sasha at Extreme Rules, so maybe if I'd have known that, I might have, because obviously they're going to pair up two Japanese women, because all Japanese people are friends in WWE, you know this. So, yeah, I predicted this match correctly. I thought it was going to be a botched Bayley interference, but that's probably going to come in the Sasha-Asuka match at Extreme Rules now, rather than at this. So, I was 4 out of 5 in terms of match results overall, which I was pretty pleased with. Yeah, Io Shirai actually picked up the win. Asuka green misted Sasha, and then Io hit. It was really convoluted how the referee somehow didn't notice that that Sasha had been misted, like, for a couple of minutes, like, before the end came, even to the point where they did the moonsault onto Sasha's back and kept deliberately sort of flicking Sasha's hair into her face and stuff so the referee wouldn't notice. It was blatantly obvious. That referee needs to go Specsavers. I don't know. I know you've got to do it that way, otherwise Sasha wins by DQ, and you probably want Io picking up that win. Maybe just have Asuka hit her instead of, like, hit her with the Raw Women's Championship instead of misting her. I know mist is kind of Asuka's deal now, but I don't know. It just felt a bit contrived to finish, where the referee somehow doesn't notice for a good, at least I'd say about a minute, doesn't notice that she's got green all over her face. Like, I don't know, bit suspension of disbelief going a bit farther, but whatever. Overall, good show, enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought, what you thought of the show. Leave a like if you haven't already, show that you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments how much you enjoyed the show. Let me know by likes how much you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new here. Share with your friends if you think they would enjoy. Check the description for my other channels, my social media, my Patreon, all that fun stuff. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.